Welcome to Module 6. My name is Tunde Ridley. We'll be focusing on speed, change of direction, and agility. I'm working with a high school soccer team. I'm assuming that they are intermediate, but we're going to start slow. We have a 6-week program. Phase 1 will be weeks 1 and 2 with focus on acceleration and deceleration. So we want to make sure we are able to slow down before we do any kind of cuts. On the slide it says 3 steps, so when we break it down, we want to break down within 5 to 3 steps depending on how fast we're going. And then we're going to get some lateral shuffles to base and some hill sprints for acceleration in. So starting with the forward deceleration breakdown, again, you're going to push out of the back as if you are full sprinting. And then you want to break down or chop your stride with a pushing your center of gravity back, so then that way you can have your center of mass kind of help you slow down. Again, we do not want straight leg stopping. We want to make sure our muscles absorb the stop. As you can see here, I took quite a few steps to break it down and stop. And I'm stopping to a base position, so push out of the back, break it down to base. So then I'm ready to cut or run or turn or whatever it might be. So here it's drive out, push, 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 1, 2, 3, stop. Same thing with the backwards. So we're going to back pedal and try to pick up some speed, and then break it down within 3 to 5 steps. And I say 3 to 5 steps because it depends on how fast the athlete is actually moving. So if we start them out at 50 to 60%, as I've prescribed in the actual the paper that goes with this, then they can take 3 steps. And as they pick up speed, they might have to start out with 5, and then as they progress, they'll drop down to 3 steps. And you're going to end in base in case you have to cross over, turn, run. Next up, lateral shuffle to base. So you want to keep your center of gravity. You want your chest and shoulders to be over toes, over knees, and your hip hinge back in a nice steady base. This way, if you were to cut out of this position or turn and run out of this position, you would be okay. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple of reps to where I push and go. So here we go. Push and stop. And whenever you push, you want to push off of that back leg. In my case, in this, I'm pushing away from the street toward the field and landing in base and getting ready to go. Hill sprints. Now, I didn't have a hill here, but I have it to where I showed you how to set yourself up. This is pretty much, so when you run up the hill helps you keep that angle. So you can start in a split stance like I have showed you, or a 3-point stance here and run up the hill. That's really going to build strength for your accelerations. Moving on to phase 2, this is weeks 3 and 4 of the 6-week program. We're going to do a crossover to base. So this incorporates some more of the transverse plane and the frontal plane. Crossover to base. Lateral deceleration. So you're going to lateral shuffle as fast as you can and then break it down to base. And then we're going to have some fun with it and do a lateral shuffle for 2. You're going to turn with the crossover step. You're going to sprint for 10 meters. And then you're going to work on your deceleration technique. And as you can see, we're not doing a lot of reps. We want to stay fresh. We want to stay poppy. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and move into our lateral crossover. Again, you want to start with a nice base of support, a nice athletic stance, if you will. So when you push, you're going to push, away from the direction that you want to run. So you want that back leg or that trail leg to be fully extended if you can to get that power. You shuffle to base, land in base, push again. Here we're working on just the lateral step over, boom. Okay, so lateral step and go. And you can see the footwork can be pretty quick. Here's the lateral deceleration. So as I talked about before, you're going to shuffle, 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 and slow yourself down and come to a stop in the base position. I think the biggest intent of all these moves are to be able to, once you stop, once you cut, once you need to make a choice as to which direction you want to go, you need to be in a position to extremely rapidly push off of that. So this is what I was talking about earlier, the lateral shuffle. So shuffle, shuffle, turn with the crossover step, accelerate out, break down to base. And so we're going to do this both forward runs and then backwards runs. And you can see how our program's building upon itself. So week 1, we worked on the lateral shuffle and we worked on the breakdown. Earlier today in these workouts, we worked on the crossover step. So the intent is to do this 2 days a week. So we would do the entirety of the program 2 days a week, probably a Monday and a Thursday. So then that way our athletes can be fresh. So here we go. We're going to lateral shuffle, turn, run, break it down. Lateral shuffle, pushing off that back leg, turning with the crossover step, accelerating out, breaking down to base. So we're going to do the same thing backwards here. These movements are critical to the transfer of a soccer athlete, going from offense to defense, backpedaling, turning, and running. So we want to make sure we're in a position to where our bodies have experienced this. And then finally, phase 3 of the 3-phase program. This is week 5 and 6. We're going to work on the Z drill. We're going to do that twice to incorporate the side shuffles, the turn, the acceleration, deceleration, and shuffles. The Y drill. Now we're getting to reaction. This is agility. So we're going to start run toward the coach. We're going to run about 10 yards. Run toward the coach, and the coach can either kick a ball to the right, to the left, or in my case, I'm going to have my coach point in the direction. So I will have to run, identify, and then go in the direction my coach wants me to go. And then finally, we're going to do some speed play with these reaction drill. So first up, the Z drill. You're going to set the cones. You can set them any distance apart you want, but you need 4, and you're going to set it up like a rectangle. So have the athlete start at 1 cone, shuffle to the next, sprint diagonally across, and then shuffle to the end cone. So here it is in a little bit faster speed: shuffle, sprint, decelerate, break it down, and then shuffle. This is putting all the components that we worked on together. Y drill. So this is the reactionary drill. Like I said, this is the first one of the agility piece. We have a nice base together. So we're going to start about 10 yards back. We're going to run toward my coach, or the camera in this case, and my coach is going to point me right or left, and I'm going to have to visually see that and go. Visually see it and go. So you can decelerate if you want to, but on this, the big key is to see and go. This is fun. So speed play. Start on the ground. I can't see. I'm going to react to the bottle hitting. I'm going to come up, and my coach is going to tell me which way to go. So this is start from the bottle hitting. So I have to listen and be aware of the bottle hitting, get up, accelerate, and then find my coach and go the direction she wants me to go. It is critical to make sure if we're moving lateral, both of our toes are straight. We're pushing off the back leg, maintaining a base position and maintaining that center of gravity. When we accelerate, we keep our toes up and low heel recovery. Common errors include plantar flex toes, alternating height, going up and down when laterally shuffling, stiff leg breakdowns, etc. So we want to make sure our athletes avoid those errors and keep a good postural alignment when doing these exercises. Thank you.